So maybe you still need to understand that, the fact that you go to a healer or a shaman, it doesn't mean that you yourself cannot already be a healer. It doesn't mean that this person is superior to you. It doesn't mean that the answers are not within. Again, watch the previous part, but it's a common misconception. Well, people go ahead and say, you don't need healers. I've recently saw this. There's this beautiful spiritual teacher that I follow on YouTube, and her video popped on my feed, and she was saying that, on a journey of deep spiritual healing, we need someone to hold space for us, and we need that teacher because we're still in a cloud of wounds and our shadows. And someone went on comments and said, it's not true, it's just people saying this to gain money. All the answers are within. All you need to do is look into your intuition. You guys, such nonsense that I wouldn't even bother. I mean, I rarely bother to leave any kind of comments, and if I do, it's because it's like, yeah, I love it, just for support, right? But it's such a load of new age crap that I cannot even start to begin to explain this to you, right? Again, you can watch the previous part for context, but if someone says that in this arrogant way, it carries energy of separation. It carries energy of lack of understanding what healing is. Again, when you come to me on session as a healer, it doesn't mean that it means that you're inferior and I'm superior and I have all the answers and you don't have all the answers, and that I will magically touch you and heal you. I will create a healing space. I will emit a healing frequency that I carry, because as a spiritual teacher, we maintain our vessel clear, and it's important to have that healing energy within us on point. I will give you, as a channel, directions from source, from your guides, from your higher self, for you to then go inwards, contemplate, filter these things through your own universal truths, and find your truth within. So whoever says, I don't need a healer, I don't need a channel, why are you saying you don't need the wisdom of the universe? Because we're just channels. We're just transmuters, whether that's a channel verbally because I speak things to you, or someone channels energy. If you come to me on shamanic session, I also channel energy, light codes, right? So it's just nonsense. So the fact that it's came through, I feel there's something in this collective that you need to shed. You need to shed this mentality. You need to understand that if you yourself already work as a healer, whether that's your Reiki or your herbalist or your medicine woman or your spiritual coach and practitioner, it doesn't mean that you do not need yourself a mentor. There are different levels of consciousness even within the community of healers and light workers, right? And even if you are in a very high level of consciousness, literally reaching being ascended masters, it is still okay. It's a manicure example. It is still okay to have another healer to hold the container of healing space for you safely, so you can go to the depths of yourself. You can go to depths of you, okay, and find the answers within, with someone just holding that space for you. So again, let's dive deeper into tarot, but with your first row, it was coming to my mind. What is it that this collective needs to shed? What is it that you need to shed? Two of emotions. There is this energy constantly repeating itself. Hold on, I want to do another one because the second one was also talking about that, of duality, right? Of duality. Duality is illusion of this physical world. It's something that we need to fully understand on a certain level of... Okay, Eight of Cups. I feel there's a still mindset within you, within this collective, that needs to be shed, that needs to go away. There's something about duality. There's something about right and wrong. black and white, good and evil. So maybe there's a reason I was rambling about all these things. Maybe you still don't fully understand the depths of yourself, that everything in life is truly neutral, right? The good and the bad, the good and the evil, the black and white, it's positive and negative. It's all the illusion of the physical world. Everything is neutral, so we decide how we take things and how we perceive things. Separation, and as well as I feel like there's still an active illusion of separation within this collective. So you would feel like, so it may be, you know, again, it's not coming from a place of viciousness, it's coming from a place of shadow, but you may still feel like certain people are inferior and certain people are superior, right, because they know more. But again, it's just an illusion. Our souls are all equal, are all eternal. We all come from same source. We're all one supreme consciousness. It's just this illusion of this physical world. This is why I said to you guys that people who are truly awakened and truly spiritual, they find a way to filter what we say to the level of consciousness of someone who is lifetimes behind us, because we understand, we see ourselves in another. We understand that we're all one, right? We understand that where he's at, we have been. No matter what this person does, and no matter who they are, no matter how the society would deem them evil and bad and narcissistic, I feel there's still a bit of a duality illusion that you need to work through. But the fact that all these things are a topic of this reading shows that you would be on a very developed level and a very beautiful level of consciousness, preparing to truly be an amazing spiritual teacher. But again, remember what I said to you guys. You watch the previous part for context. You need to understand your own mission, your audience, people who are connected to you through golden threads, one-way golden threads that we always connected to other souls as healers, to help them. So what is it that they're going to need? What kind of audience, right? And people it's going to be, so you can develop your craft properly. But there's also this energy, so maybe it's something that it's been on your mind, of soul connections. So maybe this collective, you are someone that you are contemplating, or you've recently been finding yourself contemplating on meaning of true soul connection, karmic relationships, trauma bonds, soulmates, twin souls, soul family. I have a lot of content about this. I have a separate playlist, Soul Ties, on my YouTube. There's also a lot of things about that on my healing and spirituality playlist, so you can take a look. But maybe you're trying to, I feel like there's this element of you trying to translate certain knowledge that you've recently gained on your journey of spirituality into life, into practicality. So how do I, maybe it's that it's coming to my mind. So it's like, you know that someone is your soulmate. What do I do with that information, right? Do I say to them, are they going to have the same understanding that I do? That soulmates, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be romantic. Or maybe you've recently come across a situation when someone thought that you are their soulmates, or that you have a connection, and you know that it's not that. So are you supposed to say something? And it happens sometimes to us healers, right? Because remember what I said, us healers, people who are meant to touch other people's lives, to say words that will transform them, that will trigger something within them, right? We have that sort of a nature of a teacher and of a healer. Every person that we will come across, it's always divinely orchestrated. It's very serendipitous. You guys find us. That's why I always say to you, I am connected to you through one-way golden threads from my heart going to yours, right? And that always it attracts people who I'm meant to heal to me, whether that's through social media as clients or in a real life, right, that they will feel attracted, because subconsciously they will feel that golden thread. That's why I always say to you guys that how do you know who's your healer? You feel a pull towards this person. You like the way they speak, you like the way they're dressed, you like their style, you like who they are. It's like you want to be their friend, right? And I've touched on that topic recently in that video about connections that I've posted a couple of days ago. You can go ahead and watch that. But it sometimes happens, so maybe it happened to you, because there's a reason it's coming to my mind, that we meet someone that we're meant to change their life, we're meant to heal, we're meant to do some work with them, right? And sometimes it's one encounter, one session, and sometimes it's going to be more of a permanent work that will take years. And when people are still in their wounded energy, they're not yet familiar with spirituality. And there's a reason, remember we were talking about this, that in the beginning it all seems so impossible, so magical, right? So if maybe you had someone that met you in a very serendipitous way, right? And it because they don't know much about spirituality, they're new to this, so maybe it seems so magical that, oh my God, we were at the same place and I found you, and exactly when I was thinking about something, you said it, right? And they felt this golden cord, they felt this connection, and they got a little bit confused. Maybe they thought that, that you're going to be like best friends, or that you're soulmates, or maybe even develop some romantic feelings in you. From a point where you stand, you understand that this is just this golden cord, and that life is full of serendipitous destined moment. Our life, when we truly are spiritual teachers, we see these things every day. They become normality. Again, we talked about this in first part. It's no longer this magical serendipitous, oh my God, because it happens to us every day. We now understand how universe works. Nothing is impossible to the universe. The universe doesn't operate on a level of logic. Those magical things that seem like impossible, that I was in exact place and in the moment I was thinking about it, you said it. And people usually confuse it. They think that it means that we have this bond, we have this connection. They often, unfortunately, develop romantic relationships sometimes for this person. So there's a reason it's coming to my mind. Maybe it happened to you, or it's about to happen to you, and you need to figure out how to deal with these situations. And we should always, I feel we should always stand in a place of truth, create our own boundaries, voice it when we feel that this person is confusing themselves. However, it is not on us to explain everything to people, right? So again, we have this in your energy. We can fix the whole world. We can force certain things to certain people, and most level of consciousness, before you reach that true awakening, people learn through mistakes, learn through pain, learn through disappointment, learn through karmic contracts. You may have some sort of a karmic contract. We all have karmic contracts with people we're going to heal, but on a level of that's the disappointment, and part of being that spiritual teacher is just to accept these things and allow them to be, and understand that as long as you haven't done anything to confuse someone, it is not on you how people experience that destined serendipity of life that we experience on a daily basis. Maybe you yourself in the past, you were confused as well. Maybe in the past you had situations where you thought someone was your soulmate or your twin soul, and then as you healed and grew, you understood that this was just a karmic connection, and now from experience you see this in other people, and you're sort of on the fence. Should I explain this to them? Should I not? Remember what we said in previous part. Muse of Inspiration, it's a second time. No, you had Queen of Inspiration, and that's Muse. But it's beautiful energy. I wouldn't surprise if you were a fire sign, or if you were ruled by fire. I feel like because you had a queen and now we have a king, which is a bit of a mature energy, and we're doing guidance. What is it that you need to shed? And that's on top of that, hold your vision. So what I'm hearing is that in this collective there is a lot of passion, there is a bit of fire, a lot of dedication, a lot of determination, that emperor energy as well, that masculine, strong masculine energy as well, boom boom boom, right, to achieve things. But what I'm hearing is that they wanting you to allow this energy to mature so it doesn't burn you, to stabilize this energy, right, to learn to work with your fire. And it's coming to my mind that I'm remembering one of the previous, or couple of previous readings for this collective, that we talked about this, that you need to learn to tame your fire a little bit, that you need to learn to um that you need to learn to stabilize it. To maybe you're still a little bit in and out when it comes to levels of your energy. Maybe you still have moments that you feel more motivated, and then a bit of it, and it's okay, you guys, it's normal. No one goes like this, right? We sometimes have moments of inspiration, motivation. We have to learn to ride the wave, to take action when it comes. And then we have, what goes up must go down. We have moments of like this, maybe stillness, more surrendering, more rest. But it's really important to learn to ride that wave and work with that wave so it doesn't burn us out. And sort of when that emotion comes in, that fire comes in, that you need to do something, sort of a dose it to yourself, right? It's coming to my mind, but maybe it makes sense for the right collective. I hope you know what I mean. Work through your fears. Page of Inspiration. We have that energy again. Yeah, I feel for this collective, you are a little fearful. So you would be this collective not on the beginning of your journey. I don't want to say in the beginning of your journey, but you're in a level of a teacher. You're becoming a teacher. You're no longer just a student, right? You're becoming a teacher. You're starting to develop your craft. You're starting to work with people. You're starting to see how big of an influence you have on people. But you haven't yet reached the level of mastery, and you know this. And although you are okay with that, because you understand it's a journey, and even as masters we move forth, we learn, we expand, we constantly grow. I think that there's still a little bit of fear within you occasionally. Am I going to be able to help these people if I myself don't yet have it all conquered, don't yet have it all figured out, if I myself still feel that I need healing? But it's just, explore these fears, explore these doubts, right? They come to you for a reason. You would know that they're attached to a shadow. It comes as well with the confidence. It comes with practice. It comes with just allow them to be, allow them to run in the background, right? As you work with people, there's a variety of ways to deal with these things. It's sort of a more individual, so I don't want to touch on these things in a collective reading. But it's a little bit of, it's acceptance. I accept that I still have things to learn. I accept that I'm still myself growing and learning, but it doesn't mean that I cannot fulfill my purpose. I cannot help people to go towards where I already am, right? This also comes with understanding yourself and your audience. Not to mention, you guys, that I many times mentioned this to you, when we work, whatever work you do, but we're always channels, whether that's verbally or your channel energy, right? We're channels, we're tools in hands of the divine, right? True spiritual teachers. So sometimes we freaking surprise ourselves. I say this to you guys all the time. Sometimes when I edit my videos, I listen to it and I'm like, did I really say it? That's very wise. I didn't know that. And it's because it's not truly me speaking, right? Sometimes, yes, I share my experiences and what I already know, because I embody these things to my most of them, to my very core. But sometimes something completely new comes to my mind. Or you guys know that sometimes I start to babble And then I say to you, I don't even know, does it make sense? It doesn't really make sense to you, to me, but maybe it makes sense to you because I'm literally saying what I'm hearing, right? So you would know what I mean. Balance spirituality and practicality. Yeah, you have the power. You have the power. Continue to doubt, continue to contemplate. Continue to contemplate, continue to learn. You're a magician, you're an alchemist. You will get where you need to go. Five of Voices. Hold on, I want to do two more. Okay, because we're doing guidance, right? What is it that you still need to shed? What is it that you still need to let go of? I feel like in this collective, again, there is a little bit of that internal battle. Am I ready? Do I know enough? Am I healed enough to do certain things? Is this confidence that is lacking? We have the Magician, so they are confirming. You have everything that if you couldn't, they wouldn't allow this to you guys, right? And the fact that you have this fear, it means that you care about people that you're going to heal. You care about people that will come to you. So learn to trust in yourself. It's a very important thing. It's that trust, masculine, feminine, trusting in yourself. Again, we talk about all these things. You have the power. If you didn't, they wouldn't allow. Everything comes to us for a reason. Every person comes to us for a reason. If you weren't yet ready, they wouldn't grant these things to you. And I feel like they haven't granted the full spectrum of what you're going to do to you just yet. Remember what we said in the beginning? So just trust yourself. We ourselves unlock the next levels of what's happening to us through trusting ourselves. There is a bit of that imposter syndrome I'm hearing. That they wanting you to walk away from. And I'm hearing the fact that you don't know it all, it doesn't mean that you cannot teach what you know. Right? And maybe there's a reason I was keep going back, and this video, this part started from me saying that this ridiculous stupid comment that you don't need anyone. Maybe it even happened to you. Maybe you received some sort of a comment, be it online or from a client, that how can you teach certain things if you're not on point with that, or how can you say, and then you doubt that. This is why it's so important for us spiritual teachers, and I always say this to you guys, to know who we are, to stand in our truth, in our authentic selves, in what we learn, what we're meant to do. Because if you don't, then any comment or any silly video, and there's so much nonsense and charlatans out there, or irrelevant content, it will make you doubt. It will make you question. This is why to become that master, all you need to do is heal yourself. And as you heal, you reach that mastery, because you reach that point that your beliefs, your mission, your purpose, your feelings, everything that you are, everything that you embody, it's unshakable. No one would shake that. No one would make that change, make you change your mind. And you need to get to that point. There's still a little bit of that imposter syndrome for this collective. They wanting you to embody your truth more. Speak your truth. Speak for what you believe in. Say it out loud without a doubt. There are fears within you, and with that 10 of Voices, it's a confirmation of what I already said to you guys. Just allow these fears to be. Feel them. Let them go through you. You know how to work with yourself, right? This collective. So let them come through you. Feel them. Allow them to guide you, these fears, towards the wounds that are still unhealed. Attend to these wounds and allow them to be in the background. They don't need to stop you on whatever is it that you're already doing. I want to do a couple of emotions for you. Yeah. One more. All right. Beautiful. We have Judgment at the bottom of the deck. Judgment and confusion. So there's still a lack of full confidence in this collective. Maybe when you are being judged, maybe also when other people judge others and you read those comments and you feel like you resonate with them, you get a little bit confused still, but it only means that you haven't, developed that self of stability and authenticity within just yet, which is okay, right? Which is okay, because once we get there, no one can really judge us, and no one can really, confuse us, because we know what we believe in. And sometimes there are certain things that if they're really, really wise, maybe they can expand us and they can help us grow, but they will no longer confuse us. And this is why I also say to you guys that from certain level of spiritual development, the energy of ascension changes, because in the beginning of this journey, when we ascend, every ascension, and especially those that come with powerful downloads of knowledge, they create horrible confusion within us to the level of almost like insanity, right? Because we don't know how to deal with certain information, we don't know how to decipher certain information. But as we grow, we expand our consciousness, we know our truth. So the ascension comes, the download of information comes in, we just accept it. Sometimes we don't even realize and notice when it's happening, because our body and our existence is now used to it. We have hopeless. Yeah, I feel this links to, sorry, I quickly read through it, number 73. I don't want to read the whole thing to you because I don't want to make this reading super long, and I still want to do these animal cards for you. I'm guided to do it, but I feel you sometimes maybe still feel hopeless. Maybe you have this, but you guys know that I say this to you. If you look at other people and you still feel that, oh my God, I know something and I could help them and they're not listening, or maybe I could do more, what can I do? This is healer wound. This is not being a healer. True healer doesn't act that way, doesn't feel that. It's healer wound. It's a wound that you need to heal. True healer understands that we're not here to save anyone. We're not here to force our beliefs or our healing powers to anyone. Everyone has to choose. Everyone has to choose. That's why I always say to you guys as well on sessions, when you come to me on sessions, I see your different paths. I see your highest, most abundant timeline. I tap into what kind of a journey you are. And I usually give you a recommendation, right? So I recommend you come to me every 3 months, right? Or to some, every 3 weeks minimum, right? Or every month minimum. But then I never impose this on you guys, because it is your choice. It is your choice how you want to progress, how you want to learn, how you want to grow, what pace you want to have on this journey, what patterns do you want to repeat. That's why I never push. And that's why you guys know that to me, to book in with me, there's an open calendar. I'm never going to force. It's my personal belief, my universal truth. There are healers who do it differently. But as the session ends, I will never say to you, what's our next date? When am I going to see you, right? It's an open calendar. It's an open invitation, because you have to make that choice. I don't want to work with anyone who doesn't make that choice, right? It's your, and again, this is not a channel. This part is my universal truth, right? Because I know that there are healers who disagree with that and who feel that people who are healies, they need guidance and they need a little push, right? So again, but to me, if you feel that you look at people, remember we talked about this last time, if you look at people and you feel like, if only you could come to me, I could help you, I could explain certain things to you, if only you would open your mind, and if it really like it sits heavy on your heart, it means you have a healer wound. Because what we can do, we do, and the rest, how people take it, how people use it. What did I say to you? You emit healing frequency, you give advice, and then it's someone's individual personal decision what they're gonna do with it, what they're gonna use. We'll just give tools. We're not miracle workers, right? We have wholeness, which is good. So it's confirmation for the yin and yang, masculine, feminine, darkness and light, the things that you're trying to figure out. So continue to, contemplate on these things. We have romantic, so maybe you are being guided to romanticize your life a little bit. The romantic card is not necessarily about romantic love. It is about romanticizing life, seeing life in more positive colors. Maybe you recently been a little bit down, a little bit pessimistic on the darkness of this world. And the most important one, we have courage. We have courage. You need a little bit more courage to just speak your messages, to be who you are, to continue your work, to believe in yourself and to believe in your messages. And if something comes up that disagrees with what you believe in, you have to stand firmly, because the fact that you see something online, oh my God, it doesn't mean that it's true. And it's normal that in the beginning of this journey, first, we go through the stage that everything shakes us. Everything, every message, every nonsense online, we question it. We question what we believe in, right? Then we move to the stage that we know our truth, but anything that confronts our truth upsets us. So we feel like we want to go into discussion, we want to leave comments, right? At the final stage is that we really could not care less. We're unbothered. We know what you believe in. When you see a message that it doesn't resonate with your beliefs, you just scroll. And it's coming to my mind, I recently saw this lady who was saying on video that it's not true that women should be submissive to a man because in this world, because it's actually us who are leaders. Yes and no, but it's a message that creates confusion. Women as feminine divine union, when not only when we talk about soulmates, twin souls, but when we talk about this new earth, perfect world, when we talk about divine men communities and divine women, feminines communities, women in the physical world should be submissive to men, because they are the builders, they are the architects, they are the direction givers, right? They are the creators of the physical world. However, they should be submissive to our leadership in the spirit realm. So to simply put this, we have to follow their guidance when it comes to what we're going to do in the physical world, how we're going to direct the actions and the decisions that we're going to take. But those decisions that they are going to take are based on our oracle knowledge, our downloads, our intuition, our feel of sense, right? So I always give this example to you. If you have a divine pairing, divine feminine, divine masculine, let's say they go for a dinner with a potential business partner that the masculine will do business with, right? So there's a conversation, and afterwards they go back home and the feminine says, you know what, I cannot tell you why, but in my intuition, I do not trust this man. I don't believe him. I don't feel he has a nice energy. There's some sort of a trickster energy. My intuition is like very repelled from him. So then the true divine masculine takes that information, believes in that information, trusts in that information, and takes actions. So it is his decision. I'm not going to do business with this man, or I will do business, but I will be very careful. I will take precautions, right? And this is the part where the feminine, I'm not going to tell you whether you should or you shouldn't do business with this man, because doing business with this man is a masculine thing, is a direction, is this world, is this physical world. I'm only telling you what the spirit told me, what I feel in my heart, what I feel in my gut, how my body reacted to this man. And what you're going to do with this information, I trust you will know, because what you're going to do with this information is part of the physical world, okay? This is the yin and yang. This is the directivity. This is the flow of the masculine and feminine, of the feminine intuition meeting masculine direction. So yes, we are submissive to masculine energy in the physical world. It's just that in our feminine divinity, we have to be healed enough to also recognize a true divine masculine and know this man is a masculine, is a divine masculine. So I will be submissive to him. But if a masculine is wounded, I'd rather listen to my own inner masculine, right? So side note, maybe it's also something because you do struggle with that flow, maybe you needed to hear that. But when I heard that lady, speaking that message, I'm unbothered. I don't care. Maybe she's on a different level of consciousness. Maybe she still has some sort of a unhealed wound, and she doesn't like to accept. Many women who are so wounded, it's this toxic femininity, right? They don't like to even hear the word that we have to be submissive, because they don't understand what it means. They don't understand what I just explained to you. But it's not on me to explain this to anybody. Whoever is ready for my teachings will be here on my channel, listening to my messages. Whoever, and when I feel that something is nonsense, I have healed my healer wound, so I just scroll. So now you have to do same. You cannot allow that someone else's opinion, especially if it's someone online, you know nothing of this person, right, shakes your system of beliefs. You have to start trusting your intuition. My intuition is saying to me that this is bullshit, okay? Or my intuition is saying to me that there must be something in it, so maybe I will use it, not to change, but to expand. Maybe I haven't been looking at things, in the right way. I just want to do literally a few of these and we'll wrap up, because I started babbling. One more. Yeah, not a surprise. Not a surprise. We have a crow. The crow is very intuitive. Is very. This is the shamanic wisdom, shamanic power. This is the power to see the past, the present, the future. Maybe your third eye is also going through some sort of activation. I'm hearing and clearance. We have the cobra, which is exactly the energy that we were talking about. Is the student, is the teacher, is the master, is the one that goes through this journey, is the one that always observes, is the one that understands that when the student is ready for another level, a master from another level will appear. And even when we reach mastery, we're always the observers. It's a learner's mindset, right? And we have the hawk. The hawk is about different perspectives. Sometimes we have to look closer. Sometimes we have to take a step back. Look at things from different perspective. Things are not black and white. Things are not good and evil, right? It's all just this duality is just an illusion. All right, my angels, beautiful reading. Focus on your growth, focus on your career. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you soon.